Hey guys, it's EniamRej. It's been a while, 3 months to be exact, according to my YouTube. But I've been quite busy working overnights, so that's been screwing up my, customizing schedule. Not to mention I've been playing Borderlands 2 as well, so that cut into my time. But I've been sleeping, longer than I'd like to, so I haven't had much time to customize. But over the past few months, when I did have some time, I was piecing these guys together. So here we have the Royal Flush Gang. So let's start off with the lowest ranking member of the team, which is Ace. But of course in poker, Ace would be the highest in the Royal Flush. So here we have Ace. He's the android of the group, and I wanted to have him, feel like he was big. So for the base body, I went with a combination of UFC and TNA figures. So I believe the upper body here is a UFC figure, and this lower part here is also from a UFC figure. Now I would have used the UFC figure completely, but the arms, they were like really scrawny compared to this right here. They were really skinny. They looked weird, would not look like an android. And it would have kept the legs here, but he was wearing like really big shorts, so I had to switch that out. So for the arms, that's from a TNA figure. I believe it was from a TNA Jeff Hardy. The legs, I believe, were from a Rob Van Dam TNA figure, and the feet are from, what was it, the UFC figure, I believe. Oh wait, no, I believe that's also a TNA figure feet, because the UFC figure has actual feet there. Yeah, okay, so that's a TNA feet right there. And the head, surprisingly, is a WWE John Cena. The reference picture I was looking at kind of looked like this face right here. Like it didn't look like John Cena, but when I saw the John Cena head, I knew it was gonna work for this guy. So yeah, so that's the body put together. Very minimal sculpting work, just the bracelets right there, kept the articulation. Pretty simple paint job, except for, for you customizers out there who know, white is a pain in the ass to paint. Several layers upon layers upon layers. So I based in black, the entire figure black, and then I painted all this white here in several layers, leaving some shading, in the creases there. Painted his bands red, and then gave it a shine coat on the symbol. It started off small, but I looked at the picture and it was supposed to be bigger, so I just gradually made it bigger as I tried to straighten out the lines until it came out to this perfectly lined spade right there. I don't know, does that still look like John Cena? Oh yeah, I did shave his head because he used to have hair on the top. I shaved it bald. So yeah, there's Ace. Oh, and here's his little flying card that they ride on. It's just a regular deck of cards. I took 1/5 of the deck, placed it together with the Ace on the top, and glued the sides so that it's a thick, thick board to ride on. Now, I was actually thinking of putting some magnets in here, like maybe drilling some holes here and put magnets, and then magnets on their feet so that they can actually stick to it. Of course, I don't want the magnets to show, so I would have drilled holes here, leaving the front intact, and then covering up the back with another red card. So let's move on to 10. Here's a card. Now 10 was the simplest of the group. She's a basic DCU female figure, specifically Raven, with a Marvel Legends spiral head. Now Raven did have a skirt over here, so when I ripped it off, of course there was a gap, so I had to epoxy that and fill in the gap. And again, minimal sculpting, just the waist there and the bracers, or the bracelets. Again, same deal, painted black, and then several coats of white, with shading in there, of course, left. Again, same with the red, and then shined it, gave her the spade eyes, black lipstick, and of course the very tiny detailed spades on her body to look like the 10 card. Now I know the spades are going upside down on the bottom, but the reference picture showed them all going up, so I just followed that. So there is 10. Let's move on to the next one. Here is Jack. So, here we have Jack. Now, this guy was a lot of work. In fact, the next three, including him, the next two, including him, whatever. These guys required a lot more work. Now, this guy's base body is a WWE Evan Bourne figure. You're like wondering, who the hell is Evan Bourne? Yeah, that's why I used him as a base, because he wasn't going to be part of my collection. I don't know who the hell he is. But, okay, so it's Evan Bourne's body up to here. The legs and the upper body. The boots are generic WWE boots. I don't know, I grabbed them from a random wrestler. The head and the arms are from DCUC Modern Starman. So, the work I put into this guy, he has sculpted shoulder thingies here, both sides. Sculpted belt, and sculpted skirt, or whatever you want to call this thing here. Sculpted crown, and sculpted hair. I did have to cut off Starman's goggles and his hair so that I could sculpt all this stuff around his head. And I think that's it. So yeah, again, base black, several white, and then after that, detailing all this stuff on here. For the gold, I painted, you want to paint yellow and then use the gold, because if you just paint with the gold, if it's not since I use Games Workshop, it's very like clearish looking, but if you paint yellow under it and then the gold over it, it gives it that nice, it looks nicer. Painted the spade on his chest. And of course, painted his little fancy mustache there. A red eye because he's got a laser eye. Shoots lasers out of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, of course, this was the most difficult part of the painting process, was the design on his shoulder thingies. I had to use a toothpick and just go slowly, and then, you know, I have to match it up with the other side as well. Gave him a little, I had some epoxy left, so I made a little card. There's no design on it yet, but it's one of their exploding cards. I did shine up the hands because they have, what looks like shiny gloves. So that is Jack. Next up is Queen. She was actually the last one I made because I was contemplating on what body to use for her. But I actually ended up using a Lady Deathstrike. At first I wanted to go with the DC UC figure, but what was it? Oh yeah, I don't have any DC female figures, nor do I know if any of the DC female figures have, you know, hands that can hold items. I think Wonder Woman has a hand that can hold an item like her axe, but I don't have, you know, any extra Wonder Womans, nor am I gonna buy one just for the hand. So a DCUC figure would not have worked for Queen, since I needed her to hold her staff. But again, I was gonna try to use a DC figure, but in order to use the arms that I gave her on here, it would have to, you know, mesh well with the figure, but it didn't. I had a DC Dove, and I took off the arms off of a female wrestling figure, and I compared it to the body of the DC figure, but it ended up being like this long, so she would have looked like a monkey or something. It would have looked completely weird. So I just ended up using Lady Deathstrike, and the arms fits well with her. She doesn't look weird. I hate this light, you can't see them. So yeah, Lady Deathstrike base body. I was gonna switch the legs out for the DC UC Dove, but I had two Lady Deathstrikes. One I was gonna to see if I could combine all the parts together and have the legs of a DC figure, but when I chopped them in half, so I pretty much broke the Dove figure. Sitting in my fodder box now. At the waist, they don't mesh well together, so excuse me. So I just stuck with keeping Deathstrike together like that. It works fine. I just didn't want to see all these lines, and I didn't want to bother, you know, sculpting over it. It would have been too much work. It was going to be all black anyways, so I figured it wasn't going to be a big deal. So Lady Deathstrike, from the neck down to the feet. Arms come from a WWE Kelly figure. She had the hand that I wanted so that she could grasp this staff right here. And the head is Marvel Legend Mystique. So, oh yeah, since it was a Lady Deathstrike, she had that shoulder, you know, the shoulder things that she wears. She already had it on there, which made it easier for me to just sculpt over it and give it the flat look instead of the little lined ridge thing that Lady Deathstrike wears. So, and then the fact that the figure also had like shirt wrinkles in there made it nicer, because I didn't want to bother with that. So yeah, sculpted over her pre-existing shoulder thingies, sculpted the skirt and the belt around there, of course left the articulation there. Sculpted the jacket wrinkles here, not jacket, or shirt, whatever. The shirt wrinkles up there, and on this arm as well. Excuse me. Sculpted her crown, and sculpted, I'll get to that later. So again, base painted black, several white where you see the white, spade on her chest, painted her hair red, same thing with the gold, yellow with the gold over it. This design was a lot easier than Jack's, as it's just triangles right there. You get the white triangles and the red triangles. so that was pretty easy. I had to paint her eyebrows in. Am I forgetting anything? Don't think so. So that's Queen right there. So here's her staff. It's unfinished. I just sculpted this here. Still need to paint this part gold. But this is DCUC Modern Starman staff, I believe. So I just chopped off what design was up here, whatever it was. It was like a pitchfork, I guess, and sculpted this to look like, you know, spade shape. So that needs to be painted gold still. So yeah, that's her staff right there. And that's Queen. Alright, looks like my camera only has 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna try to rush the last guy. Of course, it is King. I didn't want to do these guys in separate videos, because how can I do that with a team? I built the whole team, I'm gonna put them all in one video. It just wouldn't feel the same if I did them in separate videos. So here we have King. His base body is a WWE Kerry Von Erich. Again, another wrestler I don't know, so not part of my collection. Used him as a base figure. He was bigger than the Evan Bourne figure, so I wanted to make King look bigger than Jack, since he is King. So upper body's Kerry Von Erich down to the legs right there, and again, basic wrestling boots. I would have kept the boots from Jack and King, you know, normally, but the boots that they were wearing were actually, Kerry Von Erich had feet, so I had to switch that out. And Jack had some weird looking wrestling boots, which I didn't want. So yeah, basic boots. The arms, this arm right here, oh, actually up to the ball joint, is from, what was it? Doctor Strange. Angel hands, and that's actually Kerry Von Erich's head. That's the main reason I picked him as the base figure, because I thought it kind of looked like King, like he had that facial structure for King. So again, the work, you know the deal: shoulder thingies, belt, skirt thingy. He has some X's on his chest, sculpted. That's belts, I guess. Same on the back. And on the hair, I actually chopped off the top of his hair, or not all of it, you know, just what I needed, because on the front, I think he had some hair on the front, in front of his forehead. So I had to shave that down so you wouldn't see anything there. And I don't remember if I shaved this side, because I sculpted over it. Sculpted over, like right here, this section, to give him some hair there. But this is Kerry Von Erich's hair. So this right there, that right there is sculpted. Sculpted the crown, and of course sculpted the beard and the mustache. Same deal for the paint job, based black. And his is actually nicer. He doesn't have nearly as much white as everybody else. It's pretty much just his face and the design on his shoulder thingies. So painted that up, painted this up. Spades were the most painful process of this figure. Tiny little spades. Painted some eyebrows. And of course, again, spades all the way around his crown. And that is King. Gave him a generic sword. And that is it. just show a comparison shot now with Batman. I have 1 minute running left, so it's a good height comparison right there. So that's Batman standing next to King. Here's Queen. Let me just stand them all up. Hopefully I'll get this within the last minute of the video. And of course Ace. So there they are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's the longest video I've ever done, but seeing as I haven't been on for 3 months, I think that's good. So hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys later. Peace.